So you guys know I'm from New York. First time living outside of New York. So a couple months back when I went back to visit, I was super excited because I hadn't been away from my friends and family for that long, ever. So I'm in New York City. I have some extra cash on me, so I take a cab. I want to ride with the unwashed masses of the subway. So, two things about New York City cabs. 95% of them are driven by Bangladeshi immigrants. Out of that 95%, 85% will be talking on speakerphone when you get in the cab. Remember that. So usually how this goes is, I get in the cab, they look at me, and because of this, they ask me where I'm from. I'll say the truth usually. I'm American, my parents are from India. Then they'll ask me what part of India, then I'll say Bengal, and they'll be like, do you speak Bengali? And I'll say, yeah. And then they will proceed to drop every trial and tribulation they have ever had on top of me. It's like I get in the cab and I see a cab driver, and they see a therapist who's going to pay them to give them therapy. But listen, I understand, I can't really imagine what it must be like for them to come to a new country and start at the bottom. So I listen, and I'm usually sympathetic, and I just try to give them someone to talk to. But that night, I gotta be honest, I really didn't give a fuck. I was seeing my friends, I wanted to have a good time, I don't need that downer to start off the night. Keep your personal problems to yourself. So when he asks me where I'm from, I just say, I'm American, and I start fake scrolling on my phone. We all do it. Ooh, we got a new email. Groupon's offering 50% off tantric massages. Keep your personal problems to yourself. So as I'm doing this, he goes back to his speakerphone conversation, and the first thing out of his mouth is, which roughly translates to, do you think we need a gun? So whatever's going on here is not as important anymore. That has piqued my interest. First thought in my head is like, all right, you gotta get out of the cab. You have to get the cab stopped, you gotta get out, you gotta write down the license plate, you gotta look up his name on the little certificate in the back. What's his name? Muhammad Islam. This is gonna be terrible press from Muslims. God damn it, God damn it. But I hesitate. And his cousin, it turns out, who's on the other line, answers, no, don't worry about it. If the guy doesn't comply, we'll just beat him up. Which, contrary to what you might be thinking, actually puts me at ease. Because the average Bangladeshi man, and Indian man, is about 5'6", 130 pounds, and fights like a toddler. We don't come to fight. It's not in the blood. So I'm like, all right. I figure at this point, I'm kind of in it with them, and I might as well stick around and gather some more details for the inevitable police investigation in the future. I want to come correct. So, turns out they want to rob a deli on 125th Street. Again, a part of me wants to say, dude, do not rob a deli. 125th Street is in Harlem. That's a low-income area. The guy you're robbing is struggling just as hard as you are. You're gonna get caught. It's not gonna end well for anybody involved. But another part of me is like, dude, don't rob a deli on 125th Street. There's cops everywhere up there. There's civilians all over the place. There's a Red Lobster and an Applebee's across the street from each other. You're gonna get caught. There's too many witnesses. Conversation keeps moving. Gotta gather more details. Turns out the next step is the exit strategy. It's a two-step plan, apparently. Enter, rob, exit. That's it. So he goes, all right, how are we going to get out of here? How are we going to get out of there after we rob the place? And his cousin goes, don't worry, I got it all figured out. He's the brains of the operation. And his cousin goes, we're going to rob the place, we're going to get out on 125th Street, we're going to take the M60 bus that stops on 125th Street. Before you know it, we'll be in Queens. A part of me wants to say, listen, you're gonna get caught. That's a bad idea. You might hurt someone. You could kill someone. You will go to jail. Your families will be screwed. But another part of me is saying, dude, you're gonna rob a deli on 125th Street and then go outside and catch a bus that stops on 125th Street to go to Queens? As if Queens is some foreign land? I want to tell him, dude, you drive a yellow cab in New York City. It doesn't get any more anonymous than that. Take a right on 3rd Avenue, drive for 5 minutes, you'll be gone. This guy could literally pull off a low-budget version of the Dark Knight robbery scene and get away with it. Actually, his idea would be even better, because at no point would anybody wonder, hey, why is that rubble-covered school bus exiting from the gaping hole in Gotham First National? Seriously, how did that movie go any longer than 10 minutes. Shitty writing, that's it. So it's getting more and more clear that I have to make a decision. Like 5 minutes away from my stop. And I start thinking about it. I start thinking and thinking, and all of a sudden I start feeling really guilty. Because I'm like, all right, this guy's obviously in a bad place. He came to this country, he's driving a cab, he's probably barely making ends meet. Probably has a family. And you might not know this, but my grandparents are from the part of India that is now Bangladesh. So in 1947, when partition happened, and the Muslims and Hindus couldn't get along, my grandpa got up, took everything he could carry in his arms, took his family, and moved a few hundred miles inland. Left everything he had over there, all the life he'd built, all the contacts, businesses, whatever. And he went to a completely new place where he knew nobody, had no contacts, barely even knew if anything he'd done there transferred. And somehow he made it work. And I started thinking about, at some point, someone had to help him out. You don't just go somewhere and bring yourself up all by yourself. At some point, someone helped him get a job, gave him an opportunity, showed him where the best schools for his kids were. So my dad could go to college there, go to graduate school in Amsterdam, get his PhD in Canada, move to New York, and give me a life where I can go to college and chase a dream of being an actor. And meanwhile, this guy, from the same place, is driving a cab in New York City trying to make ends meet. It's possible that my grandpa and his grandpa or uncles or whatever knew each other. They could have grown up right down the street from each other. And by some weird twist of fate, I'm here in art school and he's driving a cab in New York. And it's fucking me up, yo. It's awful. I'm like, dude, I didn't earn this, you know, I got lucky. And he got really unlucky. So we start pulling up to the corner I'm supposed to be getting off at, and I'm like shaking, I'm like fumbling with my wallet, and I look up and I realize I gave him the wrong address. The bar I'm going to is like 3 or 4 blocks down that way, but he's already turned off the meter. So I don't know what to say. I kind of just tell him, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually 3 or 4 blocks down, but I'll walk. But I was like, no, brother. You just pay what the fare is, I'll take you down there off the meter. Might not seem like a big deal to you, but he didn't need to do that. Could just let me get out and walk, but he was like, no, help this guy out. So now something clearly needs to happen. We pull up to the bar, I pay, left a nice tip, but I don't know what to say, and I'm like, I have the door half open and I'm hesitating, and he like sees it, and he's like, word, he's like, hey brother, you okay? What's the problem? Everything okay? And I look at him, and it just comes to my head, what I have to say. And I look at him and I say, Dada, which means brother in Bengali. I say, Dada, apnar dakati chestate bhalo chole, which roughly translates to good luck with the robbery, but get out immediately. And I make a beeline for the door of the bar. And I get to the door of the bar, and this 6'5" former NFL player looking bouncer goes like, there's a line. And like, I don't want to look at the cab, but I see it through the corner of my eye. I pop the collar on my pea coat as if that's going to hide me and get to the back of the line. And I'm literally just standing there like, oh my God, please, just move. And I look down the street and there's no traffic. It's a Friday night in New York City and there's no traffic. So I'm like, all right, just, what's he going to do? He's not going to come out of this cab. There's people everywhere. Is he going to beat you up? What's he going to do? And I look over and he's going about 2 miles an hour, just... And then I feel bad again, because I'm looking into his eyes and I see the fear. He's like, oh my God, that guy heard everything. He's gonna, what if he tells the cops I'm fucked? His cousin's on speakerphone, like, you had me on speakerphone, you dumb motherfucker, God damn it. And he's like, oh my God, what about my wife, my kids, what's gonna happen to them? We're barely getting by, I can't go to jail. And I'm like, oh, this poor guy's torture. So I get out the line, I go up to the cab, and knock on the window, turn it down, and I'm like, listen, Dada. Good luck with the robbery, but this time in English, and way louder. Dude, he peeled out 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, turned the corner, he's gone. And as I watched that yellow cab turn that corner into the New York City night, I realized a very important lesson. Sometimes it's best just to listen.